welcome back to my channel. Thank you for joining me today on my journey across Shropshire along the Abbesses way, which is my first ever pilgrimage. We are starting the pilgrimage today in the town of Much Wenlock at the monastery of Wenlock Priory. Originally an Anglo-Saxon monastery started in 680 by the King of Mercia, whose daughter Mildebeg was a saint. She joined the priory after escaping a prince who wished to marry her, same old story, and lived there as a nun for the rest of her life. She was said to have a special connection with birds, and they would avoid damaging local crops when she asked them to. She is also associated with a number of miracles, including giving sight to the blind. She died on the 23rd of February, 727, as the abbess of the priory. Her feast day is the 23rd of February, and that's actually now celebrated as Shropshire Day. Her tomb was long venerated here until the abbey was destroyed by invading Danes. After the Norman conquest, Roger de Montgomery, Earl of Shrewsbury, then refounded the monastery in 1086, and then in 1101 St. Mildebeg's bones were discovered beneath the floor of the priory. This then attracted both pilgrims and prosperity to the town of Much Wenlock. Heading up onto Wenlock Edge. The sun is quite low in the sky now. It's just gone 8 o'clock, so a couple more hours walking, and then find somewhere to pitch, ready for the next section of the trail tomorrow. I'm not sure how far I'm going to get today. It's a bit of a challenge for me walking this far with a bag on, so we'll see how I do. This forest is beautiful. It's feels so quiet on a Friday night, and it just smells beautiful as well, wild garlic. The sun's setting and it's very quiet. I don't think we're going to stop here because it's too close, and I'd like to get a few more miles under the belt before setting up camp, so got to keep going. So one of the reasons that I wanted to walk this route was actually and that's something I haven't shared because it's not really related to my content, it's another part of my life, but I've been on a bit of a spiritual journey in probably about the past year and a half, and it's not really a side of myself. You know, I tend to not really be that kind of person, but it's something that I've been exploring and I've been going to RCIA classes at Shrewsbury Cathedral, and this past Easter I was actually baptised and confirmed, because I hadn't been baptised or anything, into the Catholic Church. And so it's still all very new to me and I'm still learning, but we've been studying recently the different forms of prayer and meditation, and one of them is pilgrimages, and how the journey and kind of this arduous, physical feat kind of helps you connect with God and prayer and things like that. So that's also going to be something I don't know if I'd say want to explore, but it's kind of one of the purposes of this trip. I thought it'd be interesting, and also combine my love of nature and walking. I definitely have always found kind of a meditative kind of feel and state when I am outside. I think that's one of the reasons I love it so much, is just the peace, the tranquility, the connection and the grounding with nature. But yeah, so I hope you really enjoy this and it inspires you maybe to try a pilgrimage or one of these routes. I'll leave a link below. There's a website, I think it's called the British Pilgrims Trust, and they have all the routes on there, so I'll leave that below in case it's something anyone would like to try. I continued on through golden fields filled with wildflowers until I reached Kenley Church just as the sun was setting. It casted a pink glow over the rolling hills of South Shropshire. I woke up at 5 a.m. under the boughs of a huge old yew tree. The 12th century Kenley Church was of course closed, so unable to have a look around, I set off along the road to the next church on the map. It started to rain, and soon I was wet through as I traipsed through farmers' fields, trying to follow the map. Many of the paths were not well maintained and difficult to find. They clearly hadn't been used in some time. I arrived at Langley Church at 6 a.m. and was greeted by the short rectangular church built from sandstone. Originally built in 1313 by Acton Burnell, the church has two Tudor doorways which give way to a simple low church interior. After the Reformation, it became Church of England and then fell out of use in the 1700s. Now it's run by English Heritage, and although it was closed, it was a perfect place to stop for a coffee. I was hoping to get a coffee, but
shop's closed apart from on Tuesdays and Thursdays, which is a bit frustrating. I do have coffee, made one in the jet boil, but kind of wanted a latte. I bought coffee bags, but yeah, just really wanted a latte this morning. So this is St Mary's at Acton Burnell, which is the 4th church on our pilgrimage. It's about 8 o'clock in the morning, so it's very quiet here, as you can see, and it's just so still and peaceful. It's absolutely beautiful. So we're going to have a look around, look at some of the detail and the history within the church, and just, see what we can see and just enjoy. It's an absolutely gorgeous spot to stop on the pilgrimage. This 13th century church is made from sandstone, as are many of the buildings in Shropshire, with the stone probably coming from the Triassic sandstone aquifer located under the northern part of the county. The chancel roof dates back to 1571 and the windows are shafted with Purbeck marble. Some of the medieval floor tiles still remain, illustrating the beautiful craftsmanship that went into its construction. In the north porch, a wooden board lists all those who served in the Great War, while on the inside a marble plaque commemorates Lieutenant Walter Smythe. There are also tombs of notable local figures, such as the tomb of Nicholas Burnell and the Elizabethan tomb of Sir Richard Lee and his wife, pictured surrounded by their 9 children. An interesting factoid for any Americans watching is he is the ancestor of the Confederate General Robert Edward Lee. Absolutely gorgeous. There was so much history and just absolutely beautiful detailing in there. I'd really recommend visiting even if you're not doing the pilgrimage. It was really worth it. And there's also Acton Burnell Castle right there, which I'm going to show you now. Acton Burnell Castle is actually not a castle at all. It was built in 1284 as a fortified manor house. It was built by Bishop Robert Burnell, and it is believed that the first Parliament of England, at which the Commons were fully represented in law, was held here in 1283 in the adjacent barn. The law passed and it became known as the Statute of Acton Burnell, or the Statute of Merchants. If you want more information on what this meant, I'd recommend watching Can't Pay, We'll Take It Away. So that was Acton Burnell Castle. Very interesting and quite gorgeous considering it's free to get in, although most English heritage sites are. But yeah, if you're interested to learn more about the castle or the church, I definitely recommend checking out Third Rate Content's videos. He does so many videos on Shrewsbury and Shropshire and the surrounding area. They're a lot more in-depth and focused on history than mine are, so I'll link them below because he's always a good one to watch. But yeah, heading back now, gonna grab my bag and carry on along the Abbesses way to our next church and then to Shrewsbury. I thought I'd be back fairly early in the morning, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen. It's taking me a lot longer than I thought, especially with that bag. The next section of the journey was a lot of road walking as I made my way towards Pitchford. The Church of St Michael and All Angels stands next to Pitchford Hall, one of the finest Tudor houses in Britain. The church is Grade A listed and founded in 1220 AD, built by Ralph de Pitchford. It's a small sandstone building which has been restored many times over the years. The church was first remodelled in the 13th century. The east wall of the chancel was rebuilt in the 1700s,
and the vestry was added in the 1800s. The 17th century Jacobean pulpit and pews are some of the standout features of this church, along with original and very, very beautiful stained glass windows. Pushing on past St Margaret's Church, I walked to the next point of interest, St Etter's Church in Atcham. I couldn't resist, however, a quick stop at the newly refurbished Mitten and Mermaid pub for a snack and a sit down by the banks of the River Severn. St Etter's is a Grade 1 listed building and is a dedication to St Etter of Hexham. Originally thought to be built in the 8th century, the site as we know it was first built on in 1075. Oldest part of the present church is the nave and dates from the late Saxon or early Norman era. The most recent part is the south porch, dated from 1665. The stained glass window also dates from the 15th and 16th century, and there is a two-pipe mutual organ which was built in 1858 by G.M. Holditch and restored a few years later by Nicholson and Company, who overhauled the organ.
So I'm now on the Severn Way, heading into town, and then there's a few more churches to do there. I couldn't show you the one by the Mitten and Mermaid, but I'm going to go back and film that just because there was a wedding on. So I'll go back another day and I think just show the interiors of some of the churches we've missed. My phone also might die soon, so I might have to show you the other churches another day as well, but honestly I'm just so focused on walking. I think there's another 3 miles maybe. It's absolutely gorgeous down here by the river. But yeah, 17 miles today I think it'll be, or maybe 18 with a bag, so quite tiring. The chicken tenders did pick me up though.
The banks of the River Severn were alive with birds and bees and butterflies, and even quite a few dragonflies, as I made my way along the river into the town of Shrewsbury. I then made my way to the only Orthodox church on the pilgrimage, and the one I was most excited to see. The site dates back over 4,000 years, but unfortunately in 2016 planning permission was given to build an ugly new build estate around this special site. The derelict church was purchased by the Orthodox Church for £50 from the Church of England in 1994. Worship resumed immediately despite the perilous state of the building, as the Orthodox worshippers had nowhere else to go. The church was restored with the help of funds from English Heritage, and in 1997 the site was consecrated. The next church, St Giles's, was also shut, so I stood in the wet graveyard in the rain before moving on to the last site on the pilgrimage, which was Shrewsbury Abbey. Shrewsbury Abbey, a Grade 1 listed building, was founded in 1083 as a Benedictine monastery by the Norman Earl of Shrewsbury, Roger de Montgomery. It grew to be one of the most important and influential abbeys in England and a very important centre for pilgrimage. The abbey contains a small shrine to St. Winifred, as she is pictured carved in stone next to her uncle and John the Baptist. Shrewsbury Abbey concludes my first ever pilgrimage. I am so grateful for you watching this far and joining me along the journey. Walking 23 miles across Shropshire definitely gave me a new perspective on the landscape and our local history. It always amazes me just how rich and interesting every corner of Britain is. The landscape and the architecture are steeped in history and forgotten knowledge, just waiting to be discovered. If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment and subscribe for more adventures in the future.